Alchemist, this is wealth principle number 2 on the 52 weeks to wealth. We have been journeying through the 52 weeks now for 5 years. This is actually, well, it's been 4 years, but this is our 5th year into the series. Many of you came in a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and many of you came in now. This is the 5th time. Some of you, this is your very first time. Let's give everybody a round of applause for being on this journey with us. It is 52 wealth principles, 52 weeks to wealth. The idea and strategy behind this came to me when I realized there were so many principles, I couldn't implement them all at once. Who here has read a great book and then not been able to implement? Read a great book, been to a great seminar, paid for a course, and there was just so much stuff thrown at you that you weren't able to implement it. I realized the same thing was my problem. And what I wanted to do was find a way for me to implement throughout the year. So the 52 weeks to wealth has actually been operating a lot longer than what you are aware of. I built this for myself back in 2017 when I was living in Las Vegas. I'd taken 104 principles and I brought them with me and I started diving through it and saying, there's no way I can implement 104 principles. Show of hands if you understand, it's a lot of principles. So if you notice, some of the titles of these wealth principles are a little long. That's because I combined 2, sometimes 3 principles into one so that I could implement it throughout the year. Now, it was very important. There were 5 key components to the wealth principles. The first of which was I realized that every rich person on the planet had the ability to communicate their product. So communication became number 1. And most of the principles will have some communication component to them. The other thing that came up inside this research was that most of the people who were rich had a network of people who were rich. Show of hands if you found that rich people seem to hang out with each other. And then they're like, oh yeah, my friend sent me that deal, or my friend sent me the money, or my friend is the one who does that business and I'm invested with them. And it always seems like their friends are making them money. Show of hands if you know you need to get better friends if you want to increase your income. So some of the principles relate to network. They relate to community or network. And the third thing that I realized as I was going through this was that it really was a lot about business. There was a lot of business related around money. It wasn't just people getting rich from, being friendly and having like a lot of communication skills. They also had fundamental business skills. Show of hands if you found that money is a business thing, like any kind of money that comes to you is done or generated through some sort of business. Another principle that came up was real estate. 90% of wealth was held by real estate. People who have wealth were built by real estate. Show of hands if you've seen that and know that to be true. Yeah. So these are 4 things that we're going to be talking about a lot in Alchemist Station through the 52 weeks to wealth. There's a 5th one, and that 5th one was your mindset, like just your awareness and getting that locked down, because what you believe and what you think about, your passion, your purpose, your dharma, your passion, the things that get you motivated. Who said it best was the gentleman who wrote Think and Grow Rich. First drop it in the chat wins. Napoleon Hill. He said it's a burning desire. And so I actually ended up putting that at the very top. So you'll notice some wealth principles talk about mindset. What we're really talking about is what gets you to tick. Today's wealth principle is choose a business that can make $1 million. Now, this is not one of those mindset business. This is not one of those mindset principles. This is, in fact, a business principle. Is a core business principle. Show of hands if you're okay with diving into business today. We're probably not going to do too much mindset. So for those of you mindset junkies, now is probably the time to jump off. Today is going to be a very tactical training. This is all about a decision you have to make. Many of you were at the 100 Millionaire Summit this year. Show of hands if you were there with us. Excellent. Give yourselves a round of applause. It's great hanging out with you for 3 days. At that summit, we did talk about this principle. We said you got to pick a business that can make $1 million. And in order to do that, you do have to have $1 million math done in your head. Who here is familiar with Grant Cardone? Anybody familiar with Grant Cardone? Excellent. So he's known for doing $1 million math. Now, since you all have calculators and you're able to do math yourself, I'm going to do the math with you using Excel. Is it okay if we use a system that does the math for us so you don't have to go through and do all the calculators? But I do want you to check yourself as we're going through the math process. Before we dive into the math, those of you who are afraid of Excel and afraid of numbers, that's why you're broke. Show of hands, we understand numbers are important. Okay. And if money is coming in and going out and you're not avoiding, like you're not looking at the numbers, it could be because you haven't looked at the numbers. Plain and simple. Show of hands if I got a commitment that you will do math today with me. Yes, even if it's been years since you've done math, today we're going to do some really important math. We're going to do adding, subtracting, multiplying, and division. The reason we're going to do this is because if you spend the next 4 years on a business and at the end of your 4 years, that business is only worth $65,000, you messed up. So fans are committed to not making that mistake 4 years from now. And the only way you'll know is by doing the math today. You can predict the future. I can predict your future with this spreadsheet that I'm going to show you that I just built in the last 5 minutes. Who here knows that you can also do simple math in 5 minutes? You're very capable of this. All right. Here's why the simple math is so important. I have met many entrepreneurs, great people, humans who want to help others, and they've got a great product, and they come to me and they say, man, like I got this investment. You should invest in my business. I look at it and I'm like, how much is it going to make? And they'll tell me, oh, this is a big business. It's got to make a lot of money. I'm like, okay, how much is it going to make? And they're like, it's got to be a big business. It's got to make a lot of money. Now, when I ask them, how much is it going to make? They don't have an answer. Show of hands if that's scary as an investor. I'm terrified when I hear that. So the other question I'll ask, if they do, oh, it's going to make $100,000 this year. Cool. Excellent. How many have you sold? How many have you sold? Right? Do you have proof? Do you have proof of concept? Okay, if you haven't sold and it has somebody else sold this product before, if it's so brand new, I'm terrified. I will not invest in something brand new unless you have sold it. And unless you can document and show me that it's possible. Show of hands if you commit to not getting into a business unless somebody else has already made money in this business. Absolutely. It's okay to not get in a business if you've not made money in this business. You must first go and make some money first. In fact, I'll give you an example of a business that we worked with personally in-house. Jen Sullivan owns Jen's Pen. Who here knows Jen Sullivan? I know she's a ghostwriter. She writes books. When we started, before she went and started writing books, I went to the community and I said, hey, who wants to have a book ghostwritten for them? And then we sold 2 people, $5,000 each. And then as we went through the process, we realized that was way too cheap. Jen was working for free. And so we increased the price to $7,500. Then we realized that was too cheap and Jen was working for free. Now the price is $25,000. And now Jen is very happy every time she sells a book. And she's able to deliver a much better quality book. Show of hands if you understand. Sometimes you got to charge a little more to get the best product out there. Okay. That was an example of a business that looked good on paper in the beginning, but until we got into it, we didn't really know what the right price was or who the right avatar was and the right business. But then once we were able to get to that $25,000 mark, we were able to start doing math. We could say, okay, this is how you make $1 million. Show of hands if you're okay with doing some $1 million math today. In fact, I didn't write that one down, so I will do that one with you. Hold me accountable, Jen. We're going to do your math to make sure that we have this done today. Now, another business that is a failing business, a terrible business that unfortunately I have seen a person do an absolutely terrible job with it, was a hairstylist. So hairstylist, now there is an opportunity to make a lot of money in hairstyling business if you follow the strategic plan. And I sat down with this owner and I said, okay, 2 ways you make money. The first, hairstylist, is if you sell your haircuts. Who here knows a hairstylist who that's all they do? They just cut hair, trim hair, cut hair, dye hair. I looked at the products. I said, there's some of these products are really cheap, right? Like the cut hair was like $10 for guys' haircuts, $10. And then like women's haircuts were like $70. And then she told me about this other product called coloring their hair, coloring. And coloring was like $300. And I looked at coloring. I was like, well, how long does coloring take? She said, take about 2 hours. Okay, 2 hours, math. I was like, well, how many can you do at once? She said, I can do 3. I was like, how many haircuts can you do at once? She said, I could do 1. I said, and so I'm looking at the women's haircuts. I'm looking at the men's haircuts. I said, how long does women's hair take? It takes about an hour. How long does a man's haircut take? It takes about 20 minutes. Okay, so you can theoretically get 3 men's haircuts in an hour. Show of hands if this is getting to be a little bit complex. I'll simplify it for you. The math is simple. In 2 hours, working with 3 clients, she's able to make $900. In 2 hours, working with 6 men, she's able to make $60. In 2 hours, working with 2 women, she's able to make $140. Show of hands if you understand what the right product is. Yeah, she's no longer a hairstylist. She's no longer a hair cutter. She's a hairstylist, and specifically, she's only good at color. She's only good at doing things that involve color, that put you in a chair and put you into a really beautiful coloring state. And then the next thing we did, because the business was not big enough, next thing is, you know what? Your girls who come to, by the way, it's girls who get their hair colored. That was the majority of her clients. The next thing you have to do is get your people back into that chair more often. Why should they stick with one color? Why should they stick with one color? In fact, every season, there should be a new color. Every month, there should be a new color, right? A color that we change. We know St. Patrick's Day, we got to go green. It's impossible for people who work with you to not go green. It's necessary that they come in, they get green. You can give them a discount for going green on that month. We know that breast cancer awareness, pink, we've got to do it. It's ethical for your community to go pink on that particular day. We know that at the beginning of the summer, you got to go blonde. It's necessary to go blonde. Show of hands if you understand. These are requirements. And in the winter, because winter is coming, you must go black because Game of Thrones is coming back. And it's really important that your community gets on board with doing these activities. And so she was able to take a person who would come into her salon one time every 6 months and get them to come in 3 times, 4 times a year. Show of hands if you understand. She doubled her income simply by doing that. And that was one option. The other option, this is the one that I opted for that she didn't follow, which bothered me, is that you can rent out chairs in a hair salon for about $800 to $1,000, $1,600 for some really high-end salons. And you can then drive traffic to your salon solely by having good hairstylists in that salon. Good hairstylists that drive more traffic, which brings up the value of your chairs. So I told her you need a new location that offers 10 chairs at $1,000 a piece. This was $10,000 a month, and this would lead to $120,000 in profit a year that involved zero coloring or dyeing. Show of hands if you understand why I like this model much better. Well, I told you need 10 of these. And what's nice is you don't need to buy the location. That was her next hang up, is to buy the location. Like, no, we're just going to lease out the locations, and we're going to lease out the chairs to other people. And that's the business model to me that can get you to $1 million in 4 years, 3 to 4 years. And I explained this, I went through it, and the implementation never happened. So I want to be very clear today as I'm showing you the math. That math is just to set goals. If you don't do the math, you may end up doing $10 haircuts, and you may end up doing $70 haircuts, and you may end up never renting out. Maybe you rent 2 or 3 chairs, but you never get the full result of your business. Show of hands if you'd like to see this math in real estate. You want to know what real estate looks like? All right. There's a reason Ron and I do not mess with traditional flips. There's a reason we don't look at $30,000 profit on flips. If he and I are going to touch a project, we have to make at least $250,000 on the project. Otherwise, it's a waste of our time. And now he and I look much bigger. We're looking for $500,000, $1 million of equity or profit on that deal, because it takes a lot of work to find deals. Show of hands if you found that already. It takes a lot of work to find good deals. Yes, it does. It takes a lot of time to close on deals. There's a lot of headache and stress. And what we identified was that regardless of how much work we put in, if you close on the right deal, you get the right result. If you close on 10 deals that only make $30,000 a year, you only make $300,000 a year. So we realize real estate is not actually a volume game. It's about quality. It's about the right deal, bought at the right price with the right strategy in the right market so that it can appreciate and get you that return on investment. So when people tell me they're a wholesaler and they want to be a millionaire, I tell them one of those two things is a lie. One of those isn't true, because you're either a wholesaler or you want to be a millionaire. Show of hands if you understand the math. It's simple math. You cannot be a millionaire with $5,000 paychecks every 2 months. I've done the math 1,000 different ways, and I can't make that work. It's an extremely high volume business. But you can make $1 million by buying what did we just do? We bought 35 units in Illinois, and that was purchased at 1.4 million, 200,000 borrowed for renovations. We know that our 5-year projections on this put it around somewhere around like $2.5 million, $3 million. So let's just call it on the low side. We'll call it like it gets to 2.4 or 2.5. That's $1 million equity inside that property. Show of hands if that's a lot easier than $5,000 wholesaling fees. We were on the phone like calling people every single day. Now, don't get me wrong, I love wholesalers and I need wholesalers in my life because they bring us great deals. But for you, if you're a wealth builder and you're looking to get to that next level, you really want to do some good math. Show of hands if I've got you sold on math right now. All right. So let's take a look at the screen. And this wealth principle, by the way, comes to the recession-proof challenge. In the recession-proof challenge, we talk about how to get to these numbers once you've established the math. So let's take a look at a monthly subscription. So who here pays some sort of monthly subscription? Show of hands if you pay some sort of monthly subscription. Anybody pay something $100 a month? Anybody got one of those? There's like 10 of those. I got a lot of $100 a month. I think that's like company's model is just like $100. That's what we want to get from you. All right. $100 a month, 850 units brings you $1 million and 20,000. I can drop this down. Here's why Excel makes sense. I can drop this to 840 units. I can drop down to 830 units, and somewhere in between there, 835 units, 833 units, 834 units, somewhere in that ballpark, because this is happening every single month. You see the formula up here, right? Here it says, take these two cells and multiply them by 12. So that now is showing if you got $100 a month from 834 clients, you can make $1 million a year. Show of hands if you are falling in love with subscriptions. Now you understand why that business model is so successful. They don't need a lot from you. Another monthly subscription will go with a slightly higher ticket product. Suddenly, all you need is 817 clients at $200 a month. Who'd like to see a lower ticket product? A slightly lower ticket? All right, let's see how cheap we can go. We'll go with a $50 a month product, and we'll double this up to, we'll call it $1,600. We need a little more than that. $1,700. So yeah, that's close. So $1,650, I think. $1,650. Close enough. With 1,600 and probably 60 clients, you can make $1 million if you're charging $50 a month. So fancy, you understand this starts getting a little harder because you need more units. It's a marketing game now, right? It's no longer about the quality of the product. It's more about how many people can you talk to. So in the beginning, if you don't have a lot of people who know you, you got to go with something we call high ticket products or even mid-range products. Show of hands if you don't have 1,000 clients to buy from, who buy from you, 2,000 clients to buy from you. Okay, I just want to verify. All right. So these options, anybody who tries to sell you this is a liar, is somebody who's like not going to get you to $1 million. Show of hands if you understand, these don't lead to $1 million unless you're spending a lot of time building your audience. Very cool. Next, super low ticket. I think I've pounded this home already, but 1,000 sold of $100 product is what 10,000 sold to 100,000. Yeah, I got to put a comma in here so you know. Well, we'll do that later. No comma. You don't get a comma. I'm sorry. Transcription is on. Awesome. There's the comma. 10,000 people at $100 makes $1 million. I've already, if we don't have an audience of 2,000 people, we're not going to go after $100 products. True or true? We agree? I got the commitment from you? Okay. Well, I may change your mind a little bit. I'll see what we can do. Next, you got mid-ticket, $500 sold to 167 people times 12. This is again subscription there times 12 leads to $1 million. So if you can get $500 a month from a person, think now rent. I think of rental income. $500 from 167 units, you can make $1 million. Show of hands if you understand, rents in the Midwest are $500. Oh yeah, they are. Absolutely. Very cool. All right. And one of the other reasons I like the subscription is $200. This is standard rent expected from multifamily units. And sometimes $100 a month is standard rent cash flow expected from multifamily units. So fans, you've heard these before, the $100 a month per unit, $200 a month per unit. So that's how many units you need to be able to make $1 million of cash flow. This would be closer to $1 million of gross rent coming in. High ticket products. So high ticket products, again, if you don't have an audience of 667 people, $1,500 product will never make you $1 million. So fans, if you've ever sold a product like that or thought about selling a product like that, and now you're realizing the math adds up to not $1 million. Write that down as a lesson for you, not $1 million. And I want you, don't just, okay, yeah, my fault. Don't just look at this screen and take the numbers in with me. Pull out your piece of paper and start writing this down. Like take some numbers and put this down on a piece of paper so you know if you thought about selling a product at that level, this is where it comes out. This is where it is for you. This is where it doesn't work for you. And I'm talking about products, but I'm talking about rents. I'm talking about your services as a real estate agent. I'm talking about your services as if you sell a product, if you're a contractor, or a plumber, electrician, a financial planner, the things that make these low dollar amounts, you're going to have to sell massive amounts of in order to hit your targets. Do we see the spreadsheet again? Okay, it's back on the screen. All right. Now we're getting to the fun ones. $10,000, 100 sales leads to $1 million. Now, $10,000, 100 sales, that means you need to sell it to 100 people. Who here does not have 100 people interested in buying your $10,000 product? Does not have. Okay, excellent. I wanted to confirm that that was the truth. My final one. Can you get $50,000 from 20 people? $50,000 from 20 people leads to $1 million. In Jen Sullivan's case, she sells her ghostwriting services for $25,000. So let's do the math for Jen. 25,000. She would need 40 clients in order to make $1 million. So fans, if you understand, 40 clients is a lot of work. It's a hustle to find 40 people who want to get their books written. It's also a lot of work to fulfill on 40 books. Jen's thinking right now, she's like, I don't want to make $1 million anymore. No, Jen, I'm going to show you another product that is very magical. And this is my favorite product of all. Who here's heard that my coaching program is sold for $100,000? I've told you this. I'm very honest and very clear about how I make money. Yes, that's a product that makes a lot of money. Can you sell something for $100,000? And you look at real estate, I look at the purchase of property. Is there $100,000 of equity in the deal? This is my favorite type of number to go after. My second favorite, who's read my book, Broke to a Quarter Million? My second favorite number is this one. And this one, the $250,000, this is where life gets fun. Oh, let's see, 5. It's less than that. It's 4. Yeah, it's just 4. Who here knows you could probably make 4 deals happen, 4 things happen over the next 2, 3, 4 years. You could make this happen where you get $250,000. So when I'm hunting for property, when I'm hunting for projects or clients or services or things I'm going to do, I look for businesses that don't need a ton of clients in order to hit my big target number, my higher ticket price. But I also look for a mid-tier product and a low-tier product that I can supplement to build my marketing funnel. Who's heard of the Recession Proof Challenge before? Heard of this RPC? There's no way ever on the planet that I will sell, let's see, 10,000 people into the Recession Proof Challenge. That's like an impossibility with my network and the people that I know. But if I did sell 10,000 people into the RPC, that would bring in 10,000 people who now know about me, who I could move into a higher ticket product. Maybe we invest together and we do a thing. Maybe I move them into a different product. So one of the things that you can do is hybrid 3 different versions of your services. So we have rental property, we have syndication, we have flips. You can add agency, you can add wholesaling. All of those other streams, they start coming into the main product as marketing, not as the main squeeze, but as marketing. The main squeeze is to get down here to your high equity position in rental properties. Does this make sense? Or catching this? Awesome. So when I say choose a business that can make $1 million, I'm requesting that you do this $1 million math with all the products you have today, and you get realistic about how many clients you would actually have to work with in order to get to that $1 million. Show of Fantasy put a different perspective on how you look at your business and how you look at math. Awesome. Give yourselves a round of applause. A lot of people are afraid of the math. A lot of people don't do the math. In fact, when I used to teach this, I didn't bring the spreadsheet out, and people would just kind of glaze over, but you've actually paid attention because you, I can tell, are different this year. This year, you want to take it to the next level. You're looking to do some math yourself. So there's a book that goes along with this that teaches this process really succinctly that I really liked when I read it the first time, and I've read it every year for this reason. Michael Shine is not on the call, so I'm going to go to Mitch Jorsky. Have you read Grant Cardone's Millionaire booklet?
I have. Michael Shine is currently driving the children to New York City.
So then in that case, Michael Shine's our keeper of the books. He's our holistic attorney. He's our closer. Like I said, he closed the 100 Millionaire Summit last year, helped somebody make $1 million. But this day is going to be replaced. We're going to take Mitch Jorsky and make him the keeper of the books today. Mitch, without further ado, what is the book of the week, and what is your opinion of that book, and why should everybody read it?
Feels like sports. I'm coming off the bench to step in for the legendary Mike Shine, the all-star. Yeah, so the exercise you went through is pretty cool because it really is kind of like an example out of the book. It's called a booklet for a reason because it's really a short little book. Yeah, you can get through it in, an afternoon, a flight, whatever
I think it's 30 minutes. I think this thing is like 35 pages.
It's I think it's like 40 something.
44 pages.
Yeah. Super short and sweet. So, but yeah, it gives you the actionable information. And Walter's example is kind of a foundation of, what the book talks about in terms of like doing the millionaire math in your mind to simplify and demystify like becoming a millionaire. Because like Grant says, the first thing is most people believe becoming a millionaire is a fantasy. So it's like when you look at those numbers, like, holy crap, this isn't really that hard. Like, I can get 100, 200, 300 people to do X or whatever, or I can provide a service that, a few hundred people that, would be interested in. When you look at it just from that standpoint, obviously you can do it other ways through, building that income through real estate. But yeah, he doesn't, in Grant Cardone style, pull any punches at all. And, basically says that, you got to put in the work. I don't think everyone sees Grant now, but no one thinks about like the decades of work he put in to get to the status he's at now, where he's got his own plane and all the things. So goes back to, you still got to put in the work, but you got to do the smart things. And he talks about always being broke. And when I hear that, I know exactly what he means. And other people might be like, "What? What do you mean always be broke?" I thought the point was to become a millionaire, but always be broke, as in like you shouldn't have money sitting around. Like that money should be invested, earning you money. Like me and Walter talk about this all the time. And I'm sure even Vinny runs into it. Like we're basically broke all the time, as we're illiquid, because as soon as capital frees up, it's going into something that produces a return. I don't want my money sitting there doing nothing. Like that's not how you continue to build wealth or even stay, wealthy, especially as, the value of your dollar erodes every year with inflation. So that was a big takeaway I got from that book in terms of the always be broke. It says once you get any kind of surplus of money, then that money should be working. Like you shouldn't be blowing it on dumb purchases or just letting it sit in the bank account. So for a lot of people, once they hit that threshold where they finally have some surplus, like they went through that struggle forever, it's like they either want to buy themselves something nice, or they just like, oh my God, I have money, and just like look at it sitting in their savings account. Like, no, don't do either of those things. Put it to work. Obviously prudently, put it in a prudent investment. So there's so many actionable things in this book, even though it's a short little booklet. I could go on forever. So I'm going to leave it at that in terms of those one or two things that really kind of stuck with me. But I think you'll find there'll be nuggets that are, more personal to you, that really grab hold of you. So yeah, definitely worth the read.
Let's give Mitch Jorsky a big round of applause. He's the author of the book, Scaredy Cat Guide to Real Estate Investing. Right now, he's running the mentorship program for our real estate investors to learn how to put in offers, get to that next level, evaluate deals. It's really, really useful because he's hands-on. He's working with Vinny Chopra. So Vinny's got his syndication academy that everybody in Mastery is working with right now. Vinny is on the call. Before I go to Vinny, there's something I want to share with each one of you, and that is the recession-proof challenge. Who here's been on it? Show of hands who've been on it. Put them way close to the camera so I can really see who my RPC members are. All right, first, let's give you a big round of applause. I have been getting bombarded with requests to bring back the recession-proof challenge. We stopped running it last year because we were getting focused on the summit. We were driving traffic to get everybody in their seats. And one thing that keeps coming up is, hey, man, when are you going to run the RPC again? When can I get back to the recession-proof challenge? And then Greg Simpson at the 100 Millionaire Summit starts talking about being recession-proof. He starts telling people, you need to become recession-proof. You need to build your network. You need to buy real estate. If you're an agent, you need to work with investors. He starts talking about being an investor. Investors are the only ones who are going to make money in the recession. And he starts pounding this home. And so right after the summit, even during the summit, I was like, hey, man, when are you going to get the recession-proof challenge? Like, everybody started messaging me and texting me to get the RPC back. I've listened. I hear you. So the recession-proof challenge is officially coming back. It will be starting December 4th. So those of you who've already been a part of it, Darina's going to kill me for saying this, but anybody who's been a part of the recession-proof challenge, you are back in the RPC starting December 4th. And anybody who has never been through the RPC, go to challenge.alchemistnation.com. Register. It's $97. Man, I'm telling you, this is not how I can ever get rich through $97 courses. I did the math with you. Show of hands if you understand. It just pays for my staff. It just it's a little it just helps us get by with the product and what it costs to get Andrew and Gary and myself to be on the calls doing those things. That being said, the RPC is 21 days now. It used to be 30, then we cut it down to 5, and we found the 5 was not effective. Show of hands if you understand, 5 is not enough. Habits are built over 21 days. So the recession-proof challenge is now 21 days long. It's super intensive. You will not be able to absorb everything, but we're going to give you as absolute most that we can. And then if you can't get everything on the first one, come back again for free. No extra charge. Show of hands, okay? If you come back 6 times, 10 times, I got guys, Stephen Beaver's been through it like 8 or 9 times. So it is possible to keep coming back. I'm not going to charge you. I'm not going to nickel and dime anybody, because what I want you to do is get successful and take the action. Just like a good book, read it again. Just like Vinny's course, go through it 1,000 times. You get access to the Syndication Academy for a lifetime if you're in the Mastery program. Show of hands if that's a ton of value. If you understand the point of Alchemist Nation, Darina asked me to share something with you. Is it okay if I share something very personal about my finances? Would you be interested to know something very personal about my finances? Well, what Alchemist Nation has cost me. So one of the things that we did this month was we looked at our finance. We looked at how much we made over the last 4 years. And I'm proud to say that Alchemist Nation has over the last 5 years made $1 million. 5 years, just $1 million has been made in this company. So let's give everybody who's contributed to that on some level a round of applause. Anybody who's paid us something, you're investors in the growth of the company, like myself. Ron and I have invested, in addition to that $1 million, an extra $250,000 into the company. And every dollar of the $1 million that you have given us and contributed to the cause, we have reinvested back into the business. So when Ron and I look at this, we say we have spent as a community, as a total, $1.25 million helping others learn about wealth. So let's all give each other a big round of applause. That's $1.25 million of technology, of paying for events, of getting people together, of creating t-shirts, programs, digital services, training courses, paying for speakers and coaches and trainers and people to have conversations with you in customer service. So let's give all of our team a big round of applause. A lot of people work for free and a lot of people don't. And marketing people and web developers, they charge us lots of money. So let's give our team, who has ever received any of our money, a big round of applause and blessings, because they do some hard work, and we always put Darina to negotiate with them. So they do hard work at a very good price for us. So even though we've invested $1.25 million, I think we've gotten a good value. I think we've gotten like a $3 million value out of them. So let's give the Russian princess a big round of applause. She's amazing. Absolutely amazing what she can do with a conversation with a person. Now, I brought Vinny on because Vinny is very excited about the Mastery program. Now, Mastery is something that we put too much into it. Mitch, this week, he told me, he's like, there's too much in that program. There's too much you offer. Show fans if you're in Mastery. Yeah. He told me we're giving too much away. Vinny said you're giving too much away. And then Vinny said, I love that about you. And Mitch said, I love that about you. It's just overwhelming. Show fans it's okay if you're over-delivered upon, if you're giving too much, if you're giving more than you need or more than you can take. I love that. So I brought Vinny on because Thursday, he and I spoke about abundance. We spoke about building and choosing a business that can make $1 million. And what I did with Vinny, with this principle, I said, does this work for $1 billion? Like, should you choose $1 billion business before you start, like, to become a billionaire? And Vinny said, yeah, this is how you do it. He gave us 3 tips to become a billionaire. And it starts with making that decision, decide on a business that can make $1 billion. And I asked him to come on because, well, the secret is syndication, but Vinny's kind of the master of syndication. He manages $1.6 billion worth of real estate. He has 2 $100 million funds. So without further ado, let's ask my favorite question to Vinny Chopra. This is the one I thought for this wealth principle. Vinny, if you could give all 74 people on this call a piece of advice that would help them reach their decision on what business to make, and then once they've made the decision, what do they do? Like, how do you implement that? I know that's a lot of questions. Show fans if you're interested in Vinny's answer. I've built up a lot of suspense here. All right. So Vinny, the question is, if somebody was looking to make $1 million and they had to choose a business, what business would you suggest if you knew nothing about them? If you knew nothing about them, you didn't know their background, you didn't know where they were from. So this is just a general business that you believe would make $1 million. And what goal would you have them set to get it done? Let's give Vinny Chopra a big round of applause as he jumps in.
Thank you, Walter. It's such a pleasure. Such a pleasure. I'm just excited and motivated with this whole group getting together. And in the last 10 minutes, I've heard, kudos to you and Darina and all the coaches. I mean, you're giving so much, and I love you. I would say you got to find the niche. You need to see who you are and what you want to get better at, and then stay in that. If you're wholesaling, if you're doing 5 wholesales, do 50. I say that. If you're into single family homes, into Airbnb, my good brother, right here, 2-3 days back, I met at the Walnut Creek, and he's built $250,000 business working 4 hours a week in Airbnb. And anything you could do, courses, you could do anything, but just do more of that. Just do more of that. All right. Now, if you're not happy what you're doing, you're not liking what you're doing, then change, then learn what you do want to, and find yourself to find this business that's going to stay with you for next 5, 10, 15, 30 years. And real estate is a great one. Now, to do more of the same thing, you need more money. You just need more money. That's what is really holding you back. You need more good debt. Let's say good debt, not bad debt. So that the lender, loan institutions and family offices or anything like that, or high net worth people. I'm coming across so many people. I'm flying to Formula One tomorrow, actually Las Vegas, to meet some really high caliber people. The key thing is you need more money. How can you get more money? You got to set your mind. There is abundance of money around you, just like the sound waves. See, our television, oh, that's the video waves, but our radio, our cell phone. If you are if you're listening to a podcast, there are abundance of all these waves around you, but you got to catch them. Now, how can you catch them is through an instrument. And that's called iPhone, Android, or radio or television for video. Similarly, to attract money in your life, you got to learn how to attract money, other people's money, OPM, syndication. That has changed my life. I was broke 40 years back when I got married. I had negative balance. In other words, I owed more money to the bank and the credit card than what I had. And that's the truth. That's the real truth. And we started doing single family homes and all. Some of you know that. Of course, I came to USA with $7 in my pocket. But when I got married 43 years back, we were broke. We were totally broke. We had no money whatsoever. And so I have seen how the change has happened in my life in 15 years, not 40 years now, 15 years. And mostly in the last 7, 8 years, when I just flew like an eagle with my new company and, with my other partner, we've, finished it up. So the case I want to make with everybody listening to us is master the art of raising money. You would not look back. You will be making more millionaires. Your investors will be so happy with you. Like I have made multi millionaires just by the process of them giving me money, my tripling their money, quadrupling their money. They're giving me more. I have some investors who gave me 100,000. Now they have given me 5 million. What? 4.9 million, 3.7 million. Our investors have given us so much money. Their friends have given money. Their families have given money. Their daughters, their brothers, their uncle, their aunt. I mean, we have 562 investors. I was just doing, and we are spending a lot of money today to send them gifts from Harry and David. I love to spend $20,000 every year to give these beautiful gifts to them, and they open up in their office or at home, and they send us pictures and videos, and that's every year we do around Thanksgiving. I don't want to do Christmas. No, it's the Thanksgiving. I want to give thanks to them because their money is making us money and we are giving them returns. So please, please, please master the art of raising money. That's the big thing. And you will be able to do 10 times what you're doing. You'll do 100 times. Yes, sir. Yes.
Is it okay for everybody in this room? Is it all right if I focus the recession proof challenge on raising capital in December? Is that all right if I focus on it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I like that. Here's what's interesting. What Vinny just told you is exactly what we've always focused on in the recession proof challenge. We built that program to teach you how to raise capital, how to build your network, how to attract high net worth individuals. If you saw at the summit, I gave this idea around this community selling blueprint, how you build a community of high net worth individuals, how you serve them, how you take them to the goals that they want, and also how you sell your high ticket product, which could be syndication and investing, so that you can go and invest. And who here heard or saw that presentation? I'd like to see it again. I'd like to see it again a second time. Smart. It's like reading a good book. All right. So Vinny's Vinny's recording from the summit will be out soon. It's one of the first that we're going to be working on. I've gotten the raw video up back, and we talked about 5 terabytes of video from the summit. Show of hands, that's a lot of video. That is a lot of video to go through. So we're working through it, and we're prioritizing. We're going to focus on getting at least one of the speakers out per week over the next 20, 30 weeks. As we develop a good system, we should be able to do it a lot faster. Vinny's course is available inside the mastery. It's also available on Alchemist Nation separately. My suggestion is that you do learn how to raise capital and do it ethically, do it morally, do it legally, please. If you don't have good credit, please get good credit first. If you can't pay your own bills, please do not borrow other people's money. In fact, Vinny tells me this all the time. We never borrow money, we invest money. We never borrow money, we only invest money. Show of hands if you commit to do what a billionaire does.
Well, we get good debt. We get good debt, not bad debt. And the good debt is when that debt is making you money. Leverage is good. Leverage is very good, very good. Because if we can raise 30% from the investors, art of syndication teaches that 30%, if you can bring other institutions, lenders, other people will give you 70%. But guess what? That 70% debt they give you, that makes you more money, but they don't want any part of it. They just want to have their principal back.
Let's give Vinny Chopra a big round of applause. He told me this week, and we're working on this with Brian Kent and with Stephen Beaver and with Vinny. We're working on building an actual board, an advisor's board for Alchemist Nation. And we're going to just focus on where is the direction of this company? How do we help more of our community get to that level faster? And I couldn't ask for a better group of guys who really are abundant mindset, care about you, want to get you to the next level. So let's give the board of advisors a big round of applause. Let's give Vinny a round of applause for being a part of it. It is such a big part of. And I just think I just pressured Brian Kent because I haven't actually confirmed that he's in, but I think I just gave him threw a little pressure at him. So
love you guys, love you. I mean, I'm so passionate with you, Walter, and you have the heart of gold, you and Darina, and I'm in awe, and I will do everything in my power to be at wherever you want me to. And even in my course, I have more lectures. I have 2,300 lectures. We only put 161 or something in this course. So I have so many other lectures which are fully ready to be added to this course. And as your Alchemist Nation investors will go in there, they will be able to talk to you and your team and me, and we'll keep on adding more if you need it. We don't want fluff. We want the real deal in it. And I have empty templates and Excels and examples and everything. And we'll give you on silver platter. We'll put it more and more attachments as you need it. Thank you.
Let's give Vinny one more round of applause. Thank you very much, brother. We appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. It means a lot to me to have somebody so successful, so caring on this mission with us. So for each one of you, as we're nearing the end of the call, every week we do some sort of action step, because without an action step, this was just information, right? Show of hands if you understand. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. But shoot, a Tesla with just a battery is just a Tesla with a battery, right? The vehicle is necessary. You must have a strategy. So we use knowledge, network, and accountability to get us to the other side. You need a driver who knows where they're going. And that accountability sometimes comes in the form of GPS if you're driving from one coast to the next. Sometimes it comes in the form of a coach, a mentor, a blueprint, a strategy. Sometimes it comes in the form of a spouse, a partner, a friend. That accountability can come up in so many different ways. Sometimes it's just your own internal compass saying, I must go there. And I'll give you an example of your own internal compass. If you ever lost your cell phone, Immediately, nothing else matters. You find your cell phone. Show of hands if that's ever happened for you. So I know even inside your own internal compass can get you to places if you're holding yourself accountable to the result. Unfortunately, I found that a lot of people don't seem to have a desire to have things they've never had before. But if you lost something that was yours, you would absolutely go and get it. True or true? So in order to get things you've never had, a lot of times the mindset component does come into play, and we do have to pretend like we have what we already want, like the things we want. We got to pretend like we already have it. Show of hands if you've ever done some of that work, that mental work of pretending, law of attraction, watch The Secret, all of that. Excellent. You visualize. Before I owned the portfolio that I own today, I visualized that portfolio. I saw it in my head. In fact, I printed pictures of my city on my wall. I printed pictures of blocks, and I printed them up, and I said, I'm going to own this block. And within 5 years, I did. I owned 22 units on that block. Show of hands if you understand. If I can do it, you can do it. Unfortunately, it doesn't take being smart to be successful in real estate. I posted a video this week. Unfortunately, what it takes is being dumb enough to put in offers, to being crazy enough, to being willing to go and bother some people. It really does take being dumb enough to think it could work. And I was told growing up that I was too optimistic. I was told when I got into this business that, oh, I thought everything was going to just work out fine. And the secret I know that you know is that it wasn't I didn't think everything was going to work out fine. I knew I would do whatever it took to make sure it worked out fine. I knew that I would do whatever it took to reach my goal. I'd help as many people as I had to help in order to reach the goal that I was going after. I'd learn, I'd become the man that I had to become in order to reach the goal that I was looking for. Show of hands if you are capable of changing, adjusting, and tweaking yourself to become what you need to be. Yeah. I mean, if the goal's worth it, you certainly will. But if you don't really want it, then you certainly won't. So fans who've said you wanted things, but never went after it, and now you realized afterwards, maybe that wasn't important to me. It's okay. It's okay to be that way. So every week we do an action step. Usually I ask Doug to do this. I see Doug is on the call, and I didn't make him a co-host yet. So first, before he asks me, I'm going to make him a co-host so he can get himself lined up and set up. When we do these action steps, when we do these mindset adjustments, I also want to add a tactical component in it for you. I want you to genuinely sit down with the math. If it is complex math, if you're adding, subtracting, like multiplying and dividing, then I want you to use a calculator. Or even better, if you're comfortable with Excel, use Excel. If you are having a hard time with the math, we can create a comment inside Alchemist Nation, and you can post your question on how does this math work? How many clients do I need in order to make $1 million with my $100 product or my $10,000 product, my $20,000 product? The math is simple. It's price times clients equals result. So friends, we can do this math ourselves. All right. I want you to sit down, not just with one product. I want you to look at every product you've ever considered, every product that's ever been brought to you, because here's how I discovered, I shouldn't even talk about this. All right. Everybody on the call can keep a secret. Yeah. All right. It's just between me and you. Okay. So Ron and I have looked back. We looked at a program that we sold last year on accident. I just happened to be, I backed into it. I stumbled into the product. I asked the room what they needed. I was at Master of Influencers 2 years ago, and I asked the room, I said, what do you need? Like, what do you really want? They said, I want more deals. I want off-market properties. I was like, all right, cool. So like, what are you going to do to go get them? And they're like, I was like, all right. So, because I was teaching how to create an irresistible offer, how to influence a room, how to create an offer so good that anybody would buy it. And I started asking, I was like, well, what are the biggest problems you have with it? What would you like it to look like? And they're like, man, it would be nice if you know, somebody would send me the deals, or if I had the capital or these different elements. They were like, oh, it'd be nice if I just, you know, knew what market and to evaluate it. And then after a little while, I started getting annoyed. I started getting mad. I was like, damn, like this is so freaking easy. Why don't you just go do the goddamn work? I'm sorry. Show of hands if you ever gotten like this with your clients. Like they're asking you questions like, shit, I want this, I want this, I want this. I'm like, dude, like just go do it. Like, and then I just got frustrated. I said, like, okay, so basically what you want is somebody to go and find the market for you, do all the marketing, send out all the offers, put it under agreement, and have you sign on the dotted line. You just want a portfolio built for you. Show of hands if you understand. Everybody in the room put their hands up. Like, yep, that would be the perfect product. That would be the perfect product. And I was like, okay, and you want that done for free, right? And they're like, yeah, amazing. I was like, well, nothing in life is free when it's hard. When it's hard, it costs more. So I said, what would be reasonable? Would a 5x return be reasonable? And they're like, yeah, of course, like 5x. So I said, okay, if you get $250,000 of equity, what are you going to make in a deal? You know, I'm looking for $250,000. So they were like $250,000, that would work. And at the time, I was like, okay, so what would a 10x return be? Would that be worth it? And it was like, yeah, 25,000 to get $250,000 in equity. It's a no-brainer. Show of hands, you can do that math 1,000 times. Just keep doing it. Just keep scaling, right? Like, of course. So at the time, I agreed to that. And then I had another person. So Melanie Santos did that, and we locked that down. And it took us about a year to figure out how to build the program to get it done, and we did it. And then Greg LeBlanc calls me after this. There's only 22 people in the room, and everybody wanted the program. But 2 people actually forced me, begged me to do it. They said, look, if you fail, it's okay. Like, I just want to be a part of it. Like, if it works, like I win big, and I know you'll hold me, I'll hold you accountable. You hold me accountable. So I was like, dude, I'm not selling this thing. But Melanie and Greg were like, you please, like, will you please? And so Greg was like, how can I get 2? So he paid me $50,000 for $500,000 of equity. Show of hands if you know, Greg closed on 35 units right before the summit. Right before the summit, closed on 34 units. 35. Amazing. It took us a while to get it, but it worked. So Ron and I were looking at our finances. It's a long story. Show of hands if you're interested in knowing where this story goes. Okay. We were looking at our finances, and we looked at Alchemist Nation over the last 4 years. We said, man, like, look at us, pat on the back. We spent $1.25 million on investing in Alchemist Nation. We are the most contributive people I know. I don't know anybody else who's built a community that is this solid and keeps coming back and recurring and having results, and built 24 millionaires. Now it's more than 24 millionaires who's invested this kind of level. And I know Larry Steinoff spends more than me. I know you do, but I have a bigger social media presence and a bigger community. That's all I'm saying. But you have the bigger heart and more experience. So let's give Larry Styles a round of applause while I continue my story. And better jackets. And so we're doing the math, and we're looking at how many products did we sell? How many people did we get into the RPC? How many people were in the mentorship program? How many people came through the mastery program, the mastermind, train the trainer, buy real estate cash flow and get rich, names on deeds, get the money, get the deal. We have 38 programs we have sold over the last 5 years. By the way, let's give our team a round of applause. It's a lot of webinars I have created, taught, done, existed on, and donated time to, but the team behind me is what supports it. And we looked at volume. How many did we sell? And that chart looked like this, right? Showed volume. And then we looked at dollar amount, and a product that had never shown up on the volume chart suddenly showed up and spiked by $75,000. And we looked at it, like, what is this? It was Alchemist Acquisitions. So because we had sold $75,000 to 2 people, it didn't show up on our volume side. It only showed up on the dollar side. Here's seeing the math. You're catching how this works. So I told the guys, I said, you know what, if we want to fund this company and take us to the next level, we probably need to go relook at acquisitions. That wasn't just, I didn't do all that work for fun. I did that work to build a system. I did that work to prove that something worked. I did that work not just to help my friends, but if my friends and everybody else in the room, 22 like future millionaires were in the room, they wanted it, like, I'm doing a disservice. That's automating the millionaire building process. True or true? All right. If we do this, it automates the millionaire building process. So I don't know when we will release this, but I do know that the team is focused on how can we scale it? How can we do this at scale? How can we deliver this to more people? And I know the price point cannot be below 50, because I'm pretty sure I lost money when we did it at $25,000. Show of hands if you understand. It took a lot of time and effort on our team to make the calls, to do the messages, to go on the appointments. It was very expensive and time consuming on the management side. So you may find that somewhere in something you've collected money in the past, and it was really hard, and you said to yourself, I'll never do that again. It was a lot of work. Because I said it. I said, I'll never do acquisitions again. It was so much freaking work. I love Melanie. I love Greg, but I'll never do acquisitions again because, God damn, it took so much of my time. It was so hard for me to fulfill on. So, fans, have you ever done work like that before? But this week, after looking at the math, I said, man, like, it is a lot of work. There's no doubt. But if we worked on it, we worked really hard, maybe we make some mistakes. But what if we could nail this down? Like, what if we did, and we started getting at a scale, and we started making it cheaper, and we were able to make it more affordable, we made it more consistent? Like, the only way to get there is to mess up on the first few. It's literally to do it and, like, it bust our ass and maybe break our souls while we're doing it, like make the team like work hard. But then I also looked at my team and I said, like, I got a team that can do impossible shit. Like, I got an amazing team. I got guys and gals who back me up, who have experience in real estate, who have the support, who have the system, who care about the community, who, when I've given them a task, they go all in on things. We're talking Gary, Andrew, Steven, Billy, Mitch, like Mike, like Doug. Like I got all these great people at my back who would support us, move this forward. Steven, like Darina, Ron, like it's a crazy team. Brian Schilling, right? And I realized I'm going to bring this thing back. I don't know how or when, but when I do, we're going to make a lot of millionaires with it. And what's interesting is if I could invest $1.25 million over the last 5 years to get this company the way it is, to get this community to have as many millionaires as we've built, then what if I sold 20 of these and I brought 20 investors in over the next year or 2 years, and that brings in $1 million? I could double the amount of money that I've invested into Alchemist Nation in a single year or in 2 years. Show of hands if that would make a big change, big improvement. Yeah, because we've already learned a lot of lessons. So now we're playing with leverage. Now we've got assets built. Now we've got software built. We've got all these different tools built. So now we're leveraging. So your business is the same way. You know, we're talking about a mission. We're talking about a cause. We're talking about a community. We're talking about an investment company. You're building something very similar to what we have right now. Show of hands if it's true. If you help people, that's your mission. You help people. If you help people who have high net worth, it's the same mission. We're on the same mission. We're doing the same thing. So you may have to look for and have the courage to do that $50,000 product, maybe that $40,000 product, whatever scares you, the level of work that's involved. Maybe it is super hard at first. I know for me it was. And I know the next, couple of investors we take on, it's going to be a lot of work on me and on the team. And I'm literally prepping the team right now on this call to tell you it will be a lot of work. And I love each one of you and thank you for your dedication. But I think it's worth doing, because if we nail it, man, like it's a game changer. So show of hands, you commit to finding this in your own business, finding a way to serve and help at a higher level. Excellent. In that case, Doug McGurk. For those of you who do have to jump. If to those of you who are driving, drive. Do not close your eyes when Doug jumps in and gives us this guided meditation to help us visualize our future and visualize the results already attained, the clients already served, the product already served. Go ahead, Gary.
Hey, I just wanted to put something out before we jump to Doug and before people jump off. We are seeking your feedback on the summit and our programs. So we have created 2 surveys. One, if you went to the summit, you should get in your email, you should have gotten it in the past hour, a email requesting you to fill out a survey for the summit, just to get your feedback. We want to get your feedback of the community and implement that in future events. And so, and that's the summitsurvey.alchemistnation.com. And then there's another, at the end of that survey, it'll ask you if you would take another 10-question survey. And this is for anyone that has been to the summit or not, just about Alchemist Nation, our products, and how we can refine them and help meet your needs better. And that one is 10-question survey at alchemistnation.com. I'll put that one in the chat right now. But if you guys could fill out these surveys, it's going to help create a record for us, and help us to refine what we are producing for the community and tailor it better to meet your needs. So we would really appreciate your feedback on these things.
Give Gary Aker and the team a round of applause. Mary Lynn, thank you. And Mark and everybody who's built that. Andrew, Steven put it together. So those surveys are really important, not just for me. They're important for me, but they're mostly important for you. I want to build anything that we're building, any next investments we're making. I want to make sure that it helps you get to that next level. Show of hands if you also want that. If you're okay with me pooling all of this money and putting it towards something that makes your life easier, makes your investment easier, that's my goal as well. So you are helping me reach my goal, but also I'm helping you reach your goal. So fill out the report, fill out the surveys, and let us know what you're looking for very specifically. I assure you, you're not going to fill out the survey and get a whole bunch of people calling you to sell you stuff. The survey is designed so I can go build something that is either free, do it yourself, done with you, or done for you. Show of hands if you understand the concept. The survey helps us help you get to that next level. Awesome. With that being said, and thank you, by the way, for everybody who does give us contribution, your information. You helping us get that better and get to the next level. One more thing that you should be doing with your clients is ask them what they liked, ask them what they didn't like, ask where you can improve, ask where their problems are, ask how you get to that next level with them. We're doing that with the survey. So thank you for filling it out. Doug McGurk, are you ready to install some neurology changes in their brain. Show fans, if you're ready to get some neurology updates to get your mind updated, upload a new system for operations. All right, then let's give Doug McGurk a big round of applause. You saw him at the summit. He's a master of updating neurology.
Thank you. And yes, we're gonna do a little brain surgery. But I give Walter a hand for his and Doreen and the team for relentless, just paying it forward and making sure everyone gets what they need and being willing to ask those questions. What else do you need? So give him a hand. Very nice, very nice. All right. So we will keep this pretty short, but if you are driving, as Walter said, you may listen, but please don't close your eyes when we say, close your eyes. And let me know if you could hear the music at the moment. All right, all right. So why don't you go ahead and take a nice, big, deep cleansing breath in. Exhale and relax. That's right. And as you make yourself even more comfortable, allow your breath to slow. Inhaling deeply, cleansing breath, and exhaling any tension throughout your body. And take another nice, big, deep cleansing breath in and tense all your muscles in your body. Go ahead, tense them up, tense them up, tense them up, and relax. With each breath, you feel even more relaxed. More centered. Your mind is open, ready to embrace the path to success and prosperity. Now, imagine descending a beautiful staircase, each step down doubling your relaxation. And with every step, your belief in your ability to achieve and measure success deepens. The numbers are not just figures. The math. It's just that they're stepping stones to your goal. Each one a milestone of progress. So as you connect even more to your higher power, to God, repeat these affirmations aloud or in your mind. I am fully capable of creating a business that flourishes and prospers. The numbers are my friends, guiding me towards my $1 million goal and beyond. I embrace the clarity that comes with understanding my business's metrics. Each dollar earned is a testament to my commitment and passion. I am confident in my ability to make decisions that amplify my success. And I wonder if you could ask and answer these affirmations as you connect even more to God and get the answers. Why am I so adept at creating a highly profitable business? How have I become so comfortable and skilled with the numbers that define my success? Why does the math behind my business bring me such clarity and confidence? How is it that every financial target I set becomes an achievement I celebrate? What steps am I taking today that will ensure my business reaches $1 million and beyond? Once in a town filled with potential, lived an entrepreneur who dreamed of $1 million business. They saw the beauty in numbers, the rhythm in revenue, the poetry in profit. Each figure was a note in a symphony of success. Each calculation a brushstroke in a masterpiece of monetary gain. And this entrepreneur, much like you, started with a vision and grew to love the journey, finding joy in the details, the analytics, and the strategies that turned dreams into reality. They found wealth not only in their bank account, but in the love for the process and the numbers that charted their course. And as you prepare to return to full awareness now, remember, you are the master of your destiny, the author, the writer, the director, the creator of your success. The numbers are your map, and your passion is the compass. You will awaken with a fresh perspective on your business, ready to embrace the math that will measure and manifest your $1 million dream. On a count of 5, you will open your eyes, feeling refreshed, empowered, and in love with the math that will pave your road to success. 1. Becoming more aware. 2. Feeling energized. 3. Ready to embrace. Reality.
Come back. Oh, there you go.
Did we literally lose that last part? I think that was the perfect way to come out of a little meditation anyway. A little silence. Let's give Doug McGurk a big round of applause. Doug has been building these meditations for us inside Alchemist Nation. You can go to guidedhypnotic.com, and Doug has his real estate specific. I think there's 13 hypnotic tracks on there now, and they're all focused on either submitting offers, killing procrastination, evaluating deals, giving you the confidence behind the scenes. When you listen to them, they're extremely valuable. Who here wants the spreadsheet that I built so you can change it and just plug it in your own numbers? Anybody want that? Yes, I saw that request in the in the chat. So I will drop that here for you in just a second. And for everybody who wanted the link to the Recession Proof Challenge, I see that as well. There is in the chat is the link. You can go to challenge.alchemistnation.com. Andrew McMurray is building the challenge to be a 21-day challenge. He's updating and tweaking some of our old data so that it fits now. So let's give Andrew a big round of applause. Appreciate you, brother. All right, and I will drop the spreadsheet in the chat now. I put it in network shortcuts. Let's see. Let's take some questions. I think it's that time of the day. Show of hands, you got a lot of value out of today's principle. We're going to go apply it. Awesome. Excellent. So first to unmute wins. Steven, you know the deal. Run these questions for me, brother.
Hey, I'm just curious. Somebody tell us what your $1 million or possibly $1 billion business is. That's the exciting challenge.
So I guess I'll go. Hi, everybody.
There's no guess, Tashin. You definitely going.
My $1 billion business is building meaningful relationships with other high-level millionaires and billionaires to minimize my learning curve to get to $1 billion. So my business is building those meaningful relationships with the people that are in this community and other communities that understand the importance of long-lasting, meaningful, value-added relationships.
Tashin, I like a part of your business plan, because that's what this sounds like. It sounds like a piece to the business plan, but a business would involve some very simple math. It would involve a product and a amount of customers. I see Larry is already ready to say the same exact thing. So, Tashin, what once built, because how do you monetize? Actually, go ahead, Larry. I know you want to dive into this one.
Yeah, I didn't want to go there to monetize. You did that, which is fantastic. But I want to ask you, Tashim, what are you doing to build relationships with millionaires and billionaires?
So right now, what I'm doing, I've been focusing a lot on networking. I actually just got two partnerships here locally in my community with two different non-for-profit organizations to help scale my real estate business, and leveraging other companies that are already having success to delegate certain things.
Can I call you out? Name one millionaire or billionaire you're hanging around with.
You said what?
Name one millionaire or billionaire you're hanging around with.
So right now I'm hanging out with Pace Morby, Abraham Gray. I'm doing a deal with them right now.
Are you in Pace Morby's team, or I mean, are you in Pace Morby's course, or do you actually literally hang around Pace Morby?
I have hung around Pace Morby. I'm in his course, and we're actually doing deals together.
Do you have a cell phone number? Do you have a cell phone number?
No, not currently.
So
That's
you're
what he's
hanging
getting at.
around with him. I mean, yeah, if you don't have a cell phone number, look. So I don't know if you just. I mean, some people are actually already bashing me on Facebook because I'm hanging around Todd Alt. You know who Todd Alt is?
No.
Okay. So I just took a photo with Todd Alt. I have Todd Alt's cell phone number. I'm hanging around with a billionaire here. I'm actually in Vegas. It's funny that Vinny's coming here. I'm texting him back and forth. We're gonna have dinner the next day or so. But anyway, I'm hanging around. I'm literally hanging around billionaires, and I have all their cell phone numbers. When you have their cell phone numbers, that's when they know who you are. Pace Morby, whatever he is, who he is. He likes to make it sound. You like to make it sound like you're hanging around Pace Morby. You're not. Okay, I have Galter's cell phone number. Galter has my cell phone number. Galter knows that if he has a question on something I'm working on or something I can help him with, he'll call me immediately. Same thing. I'll call Galter immediately. Do you even have Galter's cell phone number?
No, not right now.
I'm going to teach everybody on this call how to get somebody's cell phone number when you meet them. So the next time you're literally in the room with Pace Morby, that's what I want you to do. All right? I want you to put your arm around him. I want you to take out your cell phone, okay? And I want you to take a selfie with Pace Morby. And then you look at him and you go, hey, can I send this to you? And he will go, yes. And then all you do is what's your cell phone number and you send him the message.
I'm going to back Larry up on this. A lot of people at the summit did this to me, and I don't hand out my cell phone to anyone, except for my partners have it. But people who did this to me got my cell phone. Show hands if you have my cell phone number in your phone. Give yourselves a round of applause. Very smart. Give Larry Steinhaus a round of applause. Very, very good advice. Tashin, what I know about you from the years we've been working together, you are coachable. You're coachable. You took this in. You consumed it. If you haven't gotten the results you want, it could be because of the technique you've been using and the perception of connection that you thought you had, when in reality there is a much deeper connection that is possible. Fantastic.
One more thing. When you get their cell phone number and you send it the next day, you're going to send them a text message. Hey, it was really great to meet you. What are you working on currently, and how can I help you with it?
100%. Thank
100%.
Did you get a text message from me this week, Carter, that said, what are you working on, and how can I help you with it?
Yes, I did. And you and I are now scheduled a call next week.
Hey, Dorina, where's Dorina? Did you get a text message from me and said, what are you working on? How can I help you with?
It works. Dorina got the text also.
Oh, that's exactly right. And I wanted to make sure that Galton knew because I didn't want to make sure. I wanted to make sure he didn't think I was hitting on
No, I definitely appreciate it. I appreciate the feedback. I've been implementing, I'm using the Brendan Burchard high performance planner every day, and I've been implementing as long as I get 1% better a day. Every year, I'll be 365% better than I was last year. So I want to thank this community for all of the value that it has added to me. I am closing my first real estate deal with $0 out of pocket Monday. Everything has officially been signed and closing that. And I'll be closing my second ever real estate deal December 15th, which will be a buy and hold. And I'll be walking into $135,000 in equity with $0 out of my own pocket.
Let's give Tashin Collins a round of applause. Man, I had some heated conversations with Tashin, like in a private mastermind we were part of, and I was like, bro, like pull your head out of your ass. And then he was like, and then look at this. Now he's closing deals. Man, that's why I say when I tell you you're coachable, it's because I've seen you change. I've seen you do something. I know that we went way longer than usual. I apologize for the slower start today. I did want to build that spreadsheet out. I dropped it in the chat, and also Dorina asked that I drop the link for the RPC in the chat. So if you're jumping in with us, it starts December 4th. It's at 1 p.m. every day during the week, and then the weekends are days for you to catch up, because trust me, the RPC is very intense. Recession Proof Challenge is very intense, and you will need the weekends to catch up. I will be, if it's not me, it'll be Gary. If it's not Gary, it'll be Andrew, but we will be on that call live with you every day at 1 o'clock. And we'll be answering any questions from each mission. Each day, you get a mission. And the video states at the beginning, this mission will not self-destruct, but your business might if you don't take action. And so we're going to give you a very short mission so you can implement it that day. And then later on at 1 o'clock, we jump on a call and we answer any questions and we kind of review the mission. Show of hands if you understand. It's a fun process, but it's still work.
1 p.m. Eastern.
1 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, if you're in Central, it's 12. If you're in PST, it ends up being at 10. But it is 1 p.m. Eastern every day during the week, starting December 4th. And we'll be back in the Recession Proof Challenge. And again, you can take that as many times as needed, as many times as you want. It's also, a lot of people have discovered, it is a secret way to get access to me or Gary or Andrew and ask us as many questions as you possibly want, because that's basically what the RPC ends up being. So people in the Recession Proof Challenge get a lot of access to me. Show of hands if you understand. That's a smart move for some really smart people. Excellent. So we're going to jump off. Any questions that you do have, you can go to community.alchemiststation.com, drop them in there, or you can drop them on the Facebook group. Next week's principle is a really important one. Again, we're going to do some math and we're going to do some technical. It's more of a real estate focused training. It's Wealth Principle 3. Learn the 4 types of money. I really tried to make this Wealth Principle 4 to make it simpler, because 4 types and 4, but I couldn't make it work. Wealth Principle 3 is learn the 4 types of money, and we'll talk about what those are. It is a real estate principle. Show of hands if you understand real estate is how you build wealth. Awesome. Then I'll see you next week. Cheers to your success. We have a choice. Always work with the best.
The best.
Doug, I love it. This just so works. Cheers, guys.